Okay, listen, somebody needs to tell Mother Nature to chill. It is 1,000 degrees in New York City, and I'm not happy about it because it's hot and I'm sweaty. But on the flip side, we get to drink nice cold beer, which is perfect segue into hello and welcome.
I was just going to say, you know what'll help with that? Beer. Welcome in everybody to
What's
the
going
Hop.
on?
We're back. We've got beer and we're drinking SingleCut Beersmiths out of Queens, New York. They're brewing in the heat, apparently. But they make great beer and we got our hands on some and we're excited to drink it. And Gabe?
Yeah.
Let's grab a drink. Okay, so here's the thing about SingleCut Beersmiths. I tried to get a job at this place when I first moved to New York, and they were very nice to me.
Rejected!
They were very nice to me. No, they actually said that they would love to have me there, but they didn't have any money, so they would bring me in as an intern, and I thought, I just graduated college, and I'm living in New York.
The intern days are done at that point.
Gonna have to pass on that. Yeah, but very nice of them to offer. But I didn't work there. But they are still around and doing way better than they even were at the time in 2014. And they're a very New York brewery. They're based in Queens, and they are the spirit of New York, I think.
And hopefully the beer is cold because it's hot, as I mentioned.
I mean, that's just on you, dude.
I'll get over it. I'm over it. Let's drink, I guess, and get into our normal fun.
You don't sound excited.
I am excited. I'm very excited.
You sound like it's a chore.
It's not. No, it's a fun chore. Not even. It's great.
All right, let's get into the news a little bit. And kicking things off is Fresh Fest, which is the nation's first festival of Black-owned breweries, and they are moving it online this year. This follows along with what we talked about last week. If you didn't tune in to our previous episode, we have decided here at the Hop that we are going to feature a Black-owned brewery once a month here on the show, and that's part of our commitment to diversity, inclusion, and trying to kind of raise awareness for Black-owned businesses. Well, that's what this festival does. It's a Pittsburgh-based festival that brings together Black-owned breweries and Black brewers with other craft brewers and artists and entrepreneurs from the Black community for collaboration beers. So this year they're moving it online. They had thought about canceling, but they've decided, especially in light of recent events, that this is the time more than ever when a festival like this is necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tickets for the digital festival will go on sale on July 1st. They will cost $10. And attendees will receive access to 6 channels of live entertainment on August 8th. This year, 8 Black-owned breweries and 8 Pittsburgh breweries, all yet to be named, will collaborate to brew 8 diverse beers that festival attendees can order as 2 different 4-packs through the e-commerce platform Tavour. So that means that for the first time, you can now get an 8-pack of Black-owned beer online, which is dope. We did talk about last week, but we didn't have the numbers in front of us. But it is a fact that of the 8,275 breweries in the United States, only about 60 or so are Black-owned. So the co-founders of this festival started this as a way to introduce these breweries to beer drinkers and the beer industry to the Black community, kind of bridge the gap between the two. So it's great that they're keeping it going for the 3rd year in a row. They started it in 2018. They saw attendance rise dramatically in 2019. And hopefully they'll see a solid attendance this year. $10 for a beer festival. Get on it, people.
Yeah, for real. That's awesome.
What are you doing on August 8th? Clear your schedule. And I just wanted to tag this story with the fact that we also reported on the Black is Beautiful Beer Initiative last week. And I just wanted to mention, in case you haven't noticed our retweets of it on our Twitter, that we're seeing more breweries joining this cause, including today Bell's Brewing as well as Allagash a couple days ago. So we're starting to see some larger breweries hop on the bandwagon of that, and you're going to see those Black is Beautiful beers start rolling out in the late summer, which is awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's starting to take off with some larger breweries, which I think will bring even more attention to it. And so get ready to drink some stouts, people.
Moving right along, Magic Hat. Ugh, hate to see it. They are moving production to their Genesee facility in Rochester, New York. Zero Gravity is going to be taking over their Vermont location. So Magic Hat, now owned by Rochester, New York-based FIFCO USA, will vacate its brewery and, fun fact, performing arts center called the Artifactory in South Burlington, Vermont, according to a recent press release. Zero Gravity has agreed to purchase the equipment and take over its lease, obviously pending approval, permits, and whatnot. It was a difficult decision, but in the end, they felt it was the best long-term opportunity for both us and our friends at Zero Gravity. Direct quote from FIFCO USA CEO Rich Andrews. But the production of Magic Hat will shift to the Genesee House in Rochester, but they are going to keep pumping out those awesome brews. They're going to have their flagship number 9 and other offerings are still being produced, going to continue. The production facility underwent a $50 million renovation in 2018. So they are not slowing down at all. They are going to do everything they can to keep making awesome brews. Magic Hat number 9, I remember a point in both of our lives where it was like kind of a go-to staple for us.
Yeah, I have feelings about this. I've been to the Artifactory. It was a very cool space, very colorful, very fun to tour. A lot of incredible branding going on at Magic Hat. But Magic Hat was purchased by FIFCO FIFCO, I don't know how you're supposed to say that, in 2010.
Correct.
I mean, of course we see breweries get purchased by corporations all the time, and you have to do it to survive a lot of the time, and that's fine. But Magic Hat was one of Vermont's original craft breweries, and I mean, kind of as quickly as they got purchased, they lost their kind of close following in Vermont. But I did like their beer for a while. I don't know. Here's the thing. This company, FIFCO, purchased Magic Hat and Seattle's Pyramid Brewing at the same time in the same sale. Really, Pyramid Brewing was owned by Magic Hat, but in the same sale. Now, 2 years ago, in 2013, FIFCO closed Pyramid's brewhouse in Seattle, where they had been brewing for 30 years. So they took Pyramid out of Seattle, and now they're taking Magic Hat out of Vermont. And for me, like, it's one thing to see a brewery have to make a sale to make money.
Right.
It's another thing to see the heart and soul of the brewery get completely gutted.
Demolished, yeah.
So I'm excited for Zero Gravity to have a larger
Zero
space
Gravity
to brew.
is a very very well-respected brewery, and so, hopefully they can produce something great in its place. But, Steven, would you say that they lost their magic touch? I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Oh, my God.
Ew.
I know. I deserve that, but I couldn't get... The second I started talking about it, I was like, oh, God, this would be a great, horrible joke. So I said it, and it's done, and now you can't unhear it, so who cares?
You should be embarrassed.
Anywho...
Finally,
Okay.
Okay, so NOCA, we don't know what it stands for, has announced an expansion to 4 states. NOCA is a brand of spiked water that is now expanding their distribution to Connecticut, Maine, Rhode Island, and Vermont. That puts them in all of New England. They are a New England-based company. They started in New Hampshire, and now they're coming here. You did hear me right. I said spiked water.
What?
They said think hard seltzer but no bubbles. They said that traditional non-carbonated spiked beverages were sugary, complicated, and heavy. And then the lighter carbonated hard seltzer beverages brought along the bloaty side effects of bubbles. So they've created Basically hard seltzer without the bubbles. It is 4.5% ABV. It has only 95 calories. I have one question. I've had hard seltzer. Who has ever drank that and thought that, you know what? Here's what I need to say. I've had hard seltzer and the best part of it was the bubbles.
Here's my question. Why?
Yeah.
That's what
I'm saying.
This just sounds okay. I'll give the pro and con of this. The con is it just sounds lazy. Like it just sounds like they were like, how do we make water but like alcoholic? Like what? Don't you need water to kind of balance it? I don't know. It's just weird to me. It doesn't have bubble but I will say, how funny would it be if you're like, I don't know, you got a friend crashing for the night, they're super hungover and like, dude, I need some water. And you're like, oh, here you go. And you hand them this and then they're like, oh, wow. Like, I feel bad. Like, it's like hair of the dog sort of deal. Like, 2 p.m., they're wasted. They have no idea why.
Dick move. They're flavored, so...
Dragon fruit, mango, triple berry, and watermelon lime. Those don't even go together.
Look, these people are inventive. When an iPod first came out, I was like, who needs that? And when the iPhone first came out, I said, that's crazy. And the watch, and I'm wearing the watch. Maybe this is one of those.
It was made by UNH students, and I don't know. This just sounds very UNH. No disrespect to the school or anyone who goes there or went there, but like it's like... I read this and it was like, it was originally created in New Hampshire by UNH classmates. And I went, oh, well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Galen Hand, Richard Roy, and Alex Fabonio. And Galen said, we saw how much everyone had enjoyed hard seltzers, and we took the opportunity to create an alternative without the bubbles.
Do you think this idea would work on Shark Tank? And which shark would say yes?
Okay, if it worked on Shark Tank, here's what would happen. Kevin would taste it and be like, I see an opportunity, but I'm going to do a royalty deal with you guys because I want 2% of every unit you sell. And they'd be like, that's crazy. And then Cubes would be like, guys, don't do that. But also, this isn't the right space for me. I'm out. And then Kevin would be like, this is wild. Like, I'm interested. And nobody would pay attention to him because he's Canadian.
Babs would just be drinking
Babs would
getting hammered.
Nail all of them. And somehow Lori would get the deal. Maybe Damon. No, Damon wouldn't do booze. He never does booze.
Lori probably would. She could probably sell this.
Lori, she can't get it on QVC. Honestly, maybe Kevin would end up with the deal. I don't know. Look, I get it. It's healthier. I just don't understand how bubbles are your problem. Like what else do you have to take out? Next, it's going to be like, we took out the part where we made it a pill. Now you don't even have to drink it. Now you just have to...
It just disintegrates in your stomach and you're suddenly refreshed.
All right.
Thanks, UNH.
Thanks, guys. At Harvard, they're inventing Facebook. At UNH, they're inventing alcoholic water. Okay, I have a toast. Now, you guys know me by now. My toasts are always themed appropriately for the brewery. We're going to talk about SingleCut, but they are... really into rock music. The founder is a musician. There's a lot. We'll go into it. But the founder of this brewery had to sell his vintage guitar collection to found the brewery in the first place. So I was looking at rock songs and trying to come up with something that would seem appropriate to that. So our toast today comes from the classic AC/DC, because why?
I was expecting you to just play like screaming death metal while you do the toast.
Can you imagine?
Jesus. Okay. Whoa. Turn it down.
Stand up and be counted for what you are about to receive. We are the dealers. We'll give you everything you need. Hail, hail to the good times, 'cause rock has got the right of way. We ain't no legend, ain't no cause. We're just living for today. For those about to rock, we salute you with our beer glasses. Cheers, everybody.
Hell yeah. Love me some AC/DC.
Sometimes it's just that easy. Sometimes it's all in a song. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's all in the words. Hey, Steven?
Yeah.
I'm thirsty.
Kicking things off.
I love the name of this beer. Can we just start off there?
I think we should start off with the name of every beer for two reasons. One, it's important, and two, it'll just help the people know what we're drinking.
Weird and Gilly. Double dry hopped IPA. Weird and Gilly. If I had $1.
The name comes from, I told you, they're really into music, and here's the deal. The name comes from David Bowie.
There we go.
A reference to David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust. Weird and Gilly are references to Bowie's real-life bandmates Trevor Boulder and Woody Woodmansey.
Wow, that info that I did not know before this makes this beer 20 times more awesome.
Exactly. Like all of their beer names are band names. Anyway, it's it's double dry hopped IPA, 6.6% ABV. Beer Advocate has it at 94 and Untapped has it at 4.06.
Damn.
IBUs.
I mean, we'll see.
The can says 70. The website says 88. Confusing. Unsure. Weird.
I don't know. Somebody's getting fired.
Mine was canned on April 9th of this year, so I don't know, maybe the previous it's a year-rounder, so maybe the previous versions were 88 and they just never got around to updating their website this year. I don't know.
Mine was canned on May 11th of this year, so...
Yeah, so we're definitely drinking the right version, people. I think there are 70
crispiness.
IBUs. I'll go with the can.
Sure, why not?
SRM, what would you say, 6, 7?
I would say like between 7 and 9.5-ish. It's got that golden, it's got that golden yellow color, very hazy. Can't see through it at all.
It's unfiltered too. So
yeah, it doesn't. It's weird. It's like for me, it's like dark in the middle but lighter on the outsides, like around it.
I'm getting
Maybe
that too.
it's
Like
the lighting
in
in here.
The center,
the center's a little darker, which is cool.
But it's like a pineapple orange, opaque haziness. It had a nice, kind of delicate head, like this ivory head that faded fairly quickly into a ring around the glass. But it's left behind a good amount of lacing.
My head disappeared like almost immediately. But yeah, it's got the ring and it does have a little bit of that lacing along the sides of the glass.
Yeah. Drinking it out of a pint glass because that's what the can told me to do.
Because so those were our instructions because we follow them.
Ask and you shall receive.
Okay, on the nose, definitely getting the citrus hoppiness of a classic IPA, even though this is a little bit different. But that classic smell to it.
I think the smells are really soft.
Ooh, it smells sweet.
But up front is the citrus.
Yeah, like you think citrus and you think like, a specific type, but you don't think like too sweet. This smells very sweet.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit of like honey. I mean, the malt in there is sweet. I don't know if I get a whole lot of malt on the aroma. But I get a sweetness in like the juicy sort of orange, tangerine, tropical fruit, some mango.
I am smelling some hops.
Yeah, they're there. I think
they're very subtle.
Yeah, I think what hits me first is the citrus, and then in the back is the hops. Now, 100%. We don't know what hops are in here because this brewery is particularly protective of their hop profiles. A lot of breweries tend to do 3-4 hops in a blend. And this brewery, a lot of their IPA, they've been known for IPAs since they started, and a lot of their IPAs can have like 12 hops in a blend at once. So they'll just like mash them up and kind of go crazy. So I would guess Citra is involved, maybe Mosaic, but beyond I have no idea. All right, let's do it.
little bit of zing, a little bit of that hoppiness, a little bit of that bitterness.
Yeah, I would say the taste follows the nose almost exactly.
Yeah.
You get hit with the citrus first and foremost, and then it fades into the piney, earthy, dank, grassy quality of a pale ale. I would say the citrus is more muted than a lot of the juicy IPAs you see on the market. Like, they classify this as like on their website, it was like JUICY juicy, and I'm like,
I don't know about all that. But I feel the same way, and I was gonna say I feel like there's more citrus in the aroma than there is in the taste.
I agree. I think the taste fades into bitter for me a lot quicker than it did on the nose.
It just tastes like that, like zingy, like hop forward IPA, but it smells different. So it's interesting in a way. I'm not really able to grab a certain like taste. Like I can't like say, okay, orange, lemon, this, that. Like I'm not able to say that, but I am able to say that in the nose, which is interesting. The nose, I'm just tasting or smelling just all sorts of citrus, that lemon limey-ish flavor.
If I had to pick a fruit that I get off this, I think it would be grapefruit, but I always lean towards grapefruit, and the reason is because this IPA is, these juicy IPAs are a blend of citrus and hops and bitterness. So it's like when we say juicy, that's what we mean. I feel like juicy is a term that's just thrown out too much, and like when we say juicy, what we really mean is a blend of citrus and bitter. And what's the most bitter citrus that you can think of? That's like, I mean, not like a lemon, but like I would be a grapefruit. That's why I always throw out grapefruit.
Yeah, probably grapefruit. Because my first thought was to say lemon, but
yeah, I mean, I get like grapefruit peel off this. Why the peel? Because that's the most bitter part of the grapefruit. Like, that's where you get the least sweet citrusy flavor.
I would say medium bodied, got a little bit of nice carbonation to it.
Yeah, it's creamy, kind of. It
keeps you wanting more. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. They set out to make a very juicy New England IPA. They referred to this as soft, doughy, and slightly tangy malt, lying under bright citrus, round tropical fruit, and mild pine resin hop aromatics that underscore the waves of flavors to come. Now, the website describes this as being suggested by, quote, some cat from Japan. I don't know what that means. But it has the characteristics of what I'm referring to as a Japanese IPA, which is more made in an English style, and they're not... That's not a style, it's just that they make IPAs in Japan. But they tend to be relatively subdued hop flavor, and they make a good kind of gateway IPA, they say, for like people who enjoy lighter flavors. So these are not your dank, hop bomb, bitter West Coast IPA. They're lighter than that. And I would say that rings true of this beer.
100%. Yeah. This is like if you want an IPA, but you don't want to be like punched in the face with it. You just want something subtle that has a little bit of juicy, fruitful flavor to it. Like you want to, there are those IPAs where it's like, yeah, we're just drinking it because we want something strong and heavy. We want that bite. This is more of a nibble, if you will.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with 70 IBUs. I'm gonna go with the can on this one. I think my palate has confirmed there are only 70. If there were 88, I would taste it. I've tasted exactly 70. It's dry hopped, like we said earlier, and Gabe, what's dry hopping?
So dry hopping is when you jump in a pool and then you dry off and then you jump in some hops, but you're like dry, so it makes it taste better.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, the brewery... No, I'm kidding. Dry hopping is... it's confusing because when we talk about wet hopping refers to the state of the hop, right? Wet hopping means that you're using fresh hops that were just picked, basically in the last 24 hours. They're new, they have water content in them, as opposed to dried out hops, kind of like your dry like spices in your spice cabinet, like parsley and basil, right? So that's what we talk about when we're talking about wet hopping. Dry hopping does not refer to that because almost all beers uses dry hops. But dry hopping refers to when it is added to the boil. So they're added to the beer process post-boil when the beer is cold and the liquid is in its primary or secondary fermentation phase. So the idea here is to infuse beer with additional hop flavor and aroma. The theory being if you add the hops during the boiling process, some of that flavor and aroma gets boiled off.
Yeah.
So dry hopping it is trying to really pack the punch of those hops as much as possible, which is why they're sometimes earthier and maybe a little bit more bitter than a regular.
And it's an interesting process because I feel like most, if not all, breweries, like you said, do this. It's a great way to pack a beer forward with different flavors and aromas and whatnot. As we're seeing here, like I said, I feel like it's very, you smell what and taste the same thing, but there's a little bit more on the nose. So, but
I mean, I get more citrus on the nose and I get more bitter in the taste. And maybe that's the result of the dry hopping. I don't know. Just as a quick aside, Super Spac on Beer Advocate, he found this one too, and I'm gonna find this guy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you didn't listen to last week's episode, and that means there's something off in your life. I don't know what it is.
You did something
wrong.
It
means you're missing something. And
wait, you found his review?
Fix that. I did. I'm not gonna go into it again because I already did this.
Does he copy and paste, or is it just pretty?
It's the same. It's the
same. Are you
line.
kidding me?
It's the same line. It's becoming like a poem I could recite at this point. Grapefruit, pineapple, pear. It's like
gooseberry.
It just rolls off the tongue. I've confirmed gooseberries are part of the tomatillo family. They are not. They are not a sweet citrus fruit.
He did research just to prove somebody wrong.
I watched a lot of Iron Chef. It just came up. All right, let's go into. Let's talk a little bit about this brewery that didn't hire me.
They saw your resume and said, "No, get out."
They saw my resume and said, "He's an actor. Why
are you in here?"
What? Maybe my life would have gone a whole different direction if they had hired me, or if I took that internship. If I had gone there, maybe I just would have hung it all up and said, "You know what? I'm pouring my passion elsewhere." SingleCut Beersmiths is proud to maintain the American tradition of beer locally made from craft by zealots and lunatics who believe hard work, truth, pride, and passion always should come before profit. Their tagline is on every can, and it is "Mastery knows no shortcut." The reason I love this brewery and I say that they're a very New York City brewery is I just read an article where they were talking about the water that they use and how they use New York City tap water. I don't know what choice they have, like what other tap water would, what are they using at Brooklyn Brew? Like, aren't you all using? It doesn't matter. The point is that they were going on and on about it, and they were like, well, when you think of New York foods that are really iconic to New York, like the bagels and the pizza, what makes that unique is the water, the New York City water. That's why you can't make those things the same way outside of New York. And so they feel like the same philosophy applies to their beer. They're using New York City water, and that makes their beer specifically New York.
Which is awesome. But yeah,
whether it's true or not, it's just a fun philosophy.
Founded by Queens and New York City born music obsessed brewer, as we mentioned earlier, his name is Rich Buceta, as I like to call him. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, but whatever.
Probably.
His lifelong passion led to a place where he wanted hops and vinyl could shine side by side. And as you mentioned earlier, he sold his collection of vintage guitars in order to finance this operation, which is crazy because he's always had this passion for beer. He started as the classic home brewing, which eventually led to him just diving into the brewery world. But, oh man, to give up music for beer, that's
what I'm saying. I feel like if I took this internship, maybe I would have given up acting for beer.
I'm picturing, I don't believe I read enough or saw it, but I'm picturing there's like a music room at this brewery, or like it's like a Sam Ash, like you can get beer or you can get new guitar strings.
Just
like,
go sit in there.
How dope would that be?
It's in every facet of their brewery. All the music that they play through their sound system is on vinyl. The name of the brewery, SingleCut, is refers to a body style of guitar, which I think is what like a Les Paul is. as opposed to like a Fender.
Love that.
I don't know
I get it.
what that means, but I think that it's true. For them, they say it boils down to always demanding greatness, never compromising, and always play it at maximum volume. That goes
awesome.
metaphorically for the beer and quite literally for the guitar playing.
Another thing that's really awesome is Rich's goal has always been, creating great beer and whatnot, but he has a specific style to it. He's always been, he wanted it original, hop-driven beer distinguished by a firm respect and admiration for West Coast pioneers and bending that to our East Coast NYC interpretation. So he is taking inspiration from not just the east side of the world, but from the West Coast brewers as well, which is interesting to see. It's like he wants to take that, recipe and commitment and put his own spin on it.
Yeah, they brew a lot of IPAs and double IPAs. They always have. They were kind of known for IPAs in the beginning. Now they have, we'll get into what's on tap at the brewery. There's tons of offerings. But like the store I bought my beer in had just IPAs on IPAs for, a lot of their options. I was sort of like, well, we could do any number of double IPAs. Ended up going with a pale ale that I had to drive 45 minutes to return, but that beer store shall remain nameless for the 1.5-year-old can that they sold me for $19 for a 4-pack, but I'm over it. And I drove 45 minutes back for you people because I'm not going to judge SingleCut on shit old beer that shouldn't be in the store anymore. Is that right, Mike Breen?
Bang! Exclamation point!
The Hop taking a stand. As an aside, we're going to do an episode in the future about canned on dates and how long, does beer really go bad? We don't know. I think that's kind of a debate in the beer industry. It'd be interesting to see how that beer tasted, but I wasn't going to do it to you guys right now.
As I said earlier, they have delivery and they have curbside pickup. They have specific delivery times and minimums, but they have a lot of really cool stuff. They've got all sorts of 4-packs of all other different types of beer. They've got, look at these. They've got crowlers, but they've got like the guitar logo on them. Absolutely
sick.
Awesome. They've got merchandise, SingleCut logos on things, backpacks, hats. They've got bandanas so you can cover your mouth. They've got glassware. And nose, because you don't want to...
Why do I always see people with the mask just over their mouth? You're not solving the problem.
Because if you're like me and you're wearing shades and or glasses, it fogs it up. But if you can breathe through your nose, it won't fog it up.
You know what else will fog it up? Getting coronavirus. Cover your nose.
That too. They've got glassware that's really, really interesting to see. And, Steven.
Yes?
If you want to wake up on a good note, head over to SingleCut and get their coffee.
Aw. That's
they have
fun.
coffee and they have chili hot sauce. I don't know why the chili hot sauce is in the coffee category, but they have it. It's all house blended stuff.
I have the perfect Queens Sunday for you. You wake up in Queens. I don't know why.
Why are you in Queens? Yeah.
You go over to SingleCut. You get your morning coffee, hang out, play guitar for a bit. All of a sudden, oh my God, look, it's 2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday. That means it's 5, right? And you have a beer.
Totally.
Problem solved. Then you take the hot sauce home and throw it on your dinner. SingleCut just has a really dope space too that I
this
love.
tap room. Oh my God.
Very Queens. It's just like a very Queens space. And
it's very just like
two
open
floors.
and it's big and it's like they have all of their can art is like all around the walls. Like they just know who they are. And I really want to go like right now. Can we stop recording and go?
You're right. We're out of here, guys. Thank you. And no, just kidding.
We're going to go drink.
But we do have more of their beer and, so that we don't keep these people for 3 hours, we should probably hop to that.
Alrighty, so we are splitting up now. We each have our own beer. And I'm going to kick things off because Steven has drinking first past couple weeks, which is fine. No big deal.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
damn straight. I am so pumped. Let's get into it. I am drinking the More Cowbell Chocolate Milk Stout. And yes, the name was inspired by good old Christopher Walken and SNL. Thanks, Christopher Walken. Appreciate it. And what's funny is, on their website, it says, "We've got a fever. And there is only one cure. A luscious, creamy, slightly sweet stout that sits atop a roast malt base and huge cocoa infusion that will rock all night." I mean, how can you not get excited about that?
I mean, I'm excited and I'm not even drinking it. That's
exactly.
That's a lot. I'm picturing chocolate milk, but a beer.
Pretty much.
That's what's in my head.
I think that's what I'm getting into, and I'm pretty excited about it. This milk stout is one of their year-rounders. It is brewed, like I said, with cocoa, vanilla, and milk sugar. It has an ABV of 6.0. IBUs are coming in at 28. On the SRM chart, oh boy, I would say a 38 to a 40.
I would say dark as night.
Dark as the Dark Knight.
Midnight black.
I'm drinking the Dark Knight. It's very, very jet black. Poured out very nicely, and I was instructed to pour aggressively, which I did. Beer Advocate gave it an 89. Untapped, I was actually unable to find the rating, but I do believe they did give it some form of higher rating in the 4.0. I believe that's correct.
We might stop giving out these Untapped ratings. Anyone have feelings about this? Write to us if you care. I feel like they're all the same. It's like, have we ever had one that's not between like 3.8 and 4.2
No,
ever?
I don't think we have. So not a head retention at all. Dissipated very, very quickly. A little bit of lacing along the sides of the glass. On the nose, let's see if I'm going to smell exactly what I think I'm going to smell. Yep. That classic stout, creamy chocolate, coffee, roasted malt, roasted. Cocoa. There was one review I read, a couple of reviews actually that I read that talked about marshmallow and the aroma, and I can see that. I don't know if I would have gotten that by myself, but having other people say marshmallow now, I'm starting to get it. It's definitely got that vanilla creaminess scent to it. And yeah. Let's go.
Let's go.
Everything you smell is what you taste. I'll say that. Chocolatey, milk forward, lactose forward. It's got the vanilla spice to it. I wouldn't say vanilla just by itself. I'd say vanilla spice. Definitely taste that the back end feel is the coffee, the roasted malt. It's secondary, but it's there. You get hit first with the flavors and with like the food and spice flavors, so to speak. I read a couple of reviews talking about earthy flavors just because of it's got a little bit of the hop forwardness. I feel like I am getting that, but it's kind of hard to tell because it's so blocked by it's so overpowered by the roasted malts and the roasted flavor to it. What's funny is I read a lot of reviews that were talking about how they said the flavor is there, but it's very, very subtle. It's a little watery. It's a little this. Like everything that you read about in the beer is there. It's just scaled back like very much. Mm-hmm. And I can like half agree with that. I do think a lot of the notes are scaled back. They're just not as strong as I thought they would be. I don't think it's like watery. I wouldn't say that, but I will say when you pour it, you think it's lighter than what you think it's going to be. Like you think you're drinking this heavy, like gonna fill your stomach up sort of deal, and it's really not that way. It's definitely got the stout, it's got the stout qualities to it, but it doesn't have the heaviness. And I would almost argue that that's kind of not better, but good in a way.
I would just say, I mean, it's one of their year-round offerings, I believe, and they also have a version of it that is nitro, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, is yours nitro or no?
No, it's not.
No, because it's not, because it's in a can. So possibly some people felt that it was watery, possibly they were just drinking different versions of it or different years of it than you were.
Yeah.
Or they went to the same beer store I did, and they bought one from 2019, and all of a sudden it was watery because it was a year and a half old.
I think it's funny. Slight carbonation, nothing too strong, no bite too deep, I wouldn't say. And yeah, it's I did read about how it was named after the More Cowbell sketch, like we said earlier. But yeah, it's weird. It's like it's a stout, but it's not a heavy stout. It's like it's a light stout.
Well, at 6% ABV, that makes sense. But the milk sugar, the lactose, like I'm sure it's. I think you said it's creamy in the mouth. It's probably like got a lot. It's very rich to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're still gonna, even though it's lower ABV, you're still gonna sip on it kind of slowly.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sit there slamming that guy.
And if you do, hats off to you. You do you. We're not going to tell you how to live your life.
No, we're not.
But yeah, no, that's absolutely right. And it is very creamy and very flavor forward. It's not. It's chocolatey, but I wouldn't say it's like you're not getting like punched in the mouth with chocolate. And I wasn't expecting that. I'm just kind of commenting on it. But yeah, overall, I mean, I don't think I've ever had a stout that's pretty like, oh, all right, you know?
Yeah.
So I dig it. I think it's cool.
All right, clear the floor.
Uh-oh.
I'm drinking the Sammy Was Low double dry hopped IPA. Sammy Was Low, the name, is a reference to the first line of Queen's Spread Your Wings. Now, it is 8.2% ABV. Beer Advocate has it at 93. Untapped has it at 4.26. The IBUs are at 123.
Bang! Exclamation point!
Take it higher. Take it higher.
Oh boy, 123.
I
don't know how I feel about that.
But it's hazy. It's yellow, straw, even kind of orange on the SRM. Maybe a 4 to a 6, but honestly, it looks really just like the other one. The head.
It actually it looks a little bit lighter than the other one. Yeah.
I'm drinking it out of a tulip glass. Ivory white head, kind of did the same thing as the last one. Collapsed. Got a little bit of some decent lacing around the sides. I'm getting some similar juiciness to the last one. Maybe a little bit juicier, like sweeter. Like it smells a little bit more guava, mango, a little bit more tropical. This is gonna be tough because the difference between these two beers is like pretty much the IBUs and the ABV, but like this is like it's like level up. It's like the other beer with a little bit more shit in it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's the other beer, just stronger.
Yeah. Definitely got notes of, like I said, guava, mango, maybe some peach. The malt is sweet, and you do get a little bit of like honey. Like it's very sweet on the nose. I'm not getting a lot of the hoppiness. It's if it's there, it's subtle. The hops are in the background, like even more so than I think they were with the first one.
Survey says
scrumdiddlyumptious.
Okay.
The taste really follows the nose. Juicy up front. Peach. Some cotton candy. Like it's very sweet.
Ooh.
Sweeter than I even thought it was going to be, and sweeter than the last one for sure. The last one was like you smelled it and you got the citrus and you were like, okay, the pine is in the background. Then you tasted it and you were like, oh, there's the hops. This one,
right.
Not so much. They're there, but they don't hit you up front at all. Yeah, peach, watermelon, cotton candy, and then in the back of your mouth, it kind of settles into the bitterness, but like the 123 IBUs, well hidden in there. Not getting the kind of bitter hop bomb I was expecting from this. And also the booze, 8.2%, wouldn't know it.
Oh boy.
I'd just be slinging them back.
Nice.
You cannot tell at all. It's medium bodied, it's dry, it's gently carbonated, kind of sticky in the mouth and in the glass. Like it's lacing pretty well, and it's definitely got like a stickiness to it. But it does have a crisp finish. I think overall it's a really well balanced double New England IPA. The website, the company says, dive deep into this lush and round double dry hopped double IPA inspired by the beloved Is This the Real Life, which is the IPA version of this. Drown in the aroma of peach nectar and cotton candy. Like I said, drink deep with the palate of tangerine and peach juice, finished with a long, soft finish and gentle, dry bitterness.
So this is what they call a dangerous beer, because you have 4 of them and you go, I can't stand up.
Yeah, if you have 4 of these, tomorrow's a wash. Write it off. You're not getting whatever done that you need to get done.
You're not going to get hired. You're not going to get...
Yeah, no.
You're not going to get that promotion tomorrow.
But it's delicious. It's very good. I'm a big fan of this.
Overall rating.
Out of 33. Out of 33, I give it...
I was going to say, like, what do you give it out of, like, a 6.7? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Out of 10, I would give it a 9.2.
You felt bad. I saw that happen. You were like, no, I should put 0.2.
Well, I always got to leave room for, it's like everything up to like Firestone Walker Sticky Monkey. It's like, that's the 10. Now let's work up to that bar. This isn't that good, but it's very, very, very good.
But SingleCut, we love you. We love your beer, so don't be offended.
This is great. I'm so glad that I drove 45 minutes to swap out that shit beer for this. This is so much better than that would have been, I bet.
Probably.
Or maybe it's good. I don't know.
Maybe.
SingleCut, if you listen to this, though, you should know that, well, message us. I'm not going to call the place out on the podcast, but this beer, I really like it. You guys know me. You know I'm one for the hop bombs. I like the West Coast IPAs, the juicy thing. I like it, but I tire of it from time to time. But I think this is a really good one. There's no added juice to it. There's nothing funky or weird. It's all coming from the ingredients themselves, and what you're getting is a sweetness that you don't often see from a beer of this ABV and this amount of IBUs, but it's balanced really nicely. The bitterness is hidden if you love IPAs, but for some reason you don't like bitterness, which that's a very specific and weird person, but if you are that person, go find this, because you'll be able to get all that you love out of an IPA.
If you are looking for other types of beers, SingleCut has many, many different other ones that are all sound really great. Like we said earlier, mostly IPAs, double IPAs, and a few lagers, along with the classic stouts, i.e. the one I'm drinking. On tap, they have about 16 different beers. They're all either favorites or just really awesome creations that they've messed with and changed. And
they have a Freeform Jazz Odyssey Coconut Chocolate.
I'm looking at this.
That's crazy.
I'm looking at this Workman's Cut Nitro Coffee Cream Ale with hazelnut, and the logo is very similar to the Grateful Dead logo. Going back to the whole music thing. So, I mean, that's...
I'm looking at their Kim Hibiscus Sour Lager. I'm looking at their White Lager. What's a White Lager? I'm looking at their Heavy Boots of Lead Imperial Stout, clocking in at 11.2 ABV. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're all really like... I feel like SingleCut... Like, if you want to get messed up, grab a couple SingleCut beers. Like, you're gonna...
And this is just what they have on tap. And they also have stuff for the lighter drinkers. They have a plain top Pilsner year-round. They have some regular IPAs. They have a few lagers that I mentioned. They have a bunch of seasonal options. They have a bunch of canned options. They have so many beers, way too many for us to go into on this podcast. But if you want to check it out, you can go to singlecut.com/beers.
And they've got food. They have brunch. Grilled ham and cheese waffle. Come on. How am I supposed to... I can't read this. Because I'm going to get hungry and I'm going to start eating. They've got just like regular stuff. They've got like burritos and rice bowls, and then they've got brunch. A lot of great stuff. Single cut, slam dunk, home run, field goal, extra point. You guys are great. And check them out, like we said, Queens, right in the heart of Queens. And they are using great tactics, great New York City water, and they are doing it with their style and with their spin on it. So good on.
They're magically delicious.
Yum.
I don't know how that plays in a factor, but sure, why not?
Just haven't heard from him in a while. All right, we got to go. Real quick, we're going to hit you with what is on our mind this week, and fair warning, it's football related. Sorry about it. Settle in. Wait for the season to come. Gabe, what's going on in the NFL?
Okay, so we don't condone violence, but we have to talk. We got to talk about this. Dallas Goedert, the tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, got knocked out at a bar in San Diego.
Boy, did he.
Adam Schefter reported it. The guy who hit him got arrested, which is great. But Adam Schefter reported it and also weirdly shared the video. I thought he wouldn't, but he did. So I was like, oh, cool. So I'm watching it, right now. And I have to say, this is some shit right here. So Dallas Goedert it looks like he's like backing up a dude. He's just kind of like, yo, relax. And then a guy comes out of nowhere, boom! Oh, just right in the mouth. And he goes down. I mean, he's out. Some of his friends are jumping on the guy.
We should just say up front, we don't know why he got punched.
We don't know
why. He may
why.
have deserved it.
My theory...
I mean, no one deserves that, but...
My theory is that the guy who hit him was a Cowboys fan. That's all I got at this point.
That can't be the answer.
It's
I refuse to accept
but
that.
at this point, like...
You may be a Cowboys... Look, I'm a Packers fan, but if I walk into a bar and Adam Thielen is there, I'm not just going to pop him.
Well, why not?
Be like,
do you have commitment to your team?
I don't have that much of a commitment. I'm not going to assault some guy. I might talk shit.
You wouldn't go to jail for the Packers?
No, I might be like... Hey man, we're coming for you this year. Like, I don't know what the fuck I would say. I'd probably say nothing to him knowing me. But, I mean, I might talk shit, but I'm not going to take a fucking fist to his jowl.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know why. There weren't details on why, but the guy got arrested.
I really hope that Dallas Goedert, tried to pick up his wife or something, because that's the only explanation I would accept.
What's funny is if you watch Amazon Prime show All or Nothing, where they follow around a football team, the last year they did the Eagles, and Dallas Goedert,
Didn't they do a profile on how nice he is?
Yeah, he's like the coolest dude, but also him and his roommate, who also plays for the Eagles, he's a defenseman, I forgot his name. They
Sidebar. What?
What? They're friends.
Roommate?
Whatever. They live in a...
It's not
like they live in a 2-bedroom apartment. They live in a dope-ass house.
I love you, and you're easily my favorite roommate I've ever had. If I made NFL money, we wouldn't be living together.
No, we'd be living in
especially
houses
if you
right
and I
next to
both
each other.
Made NFL money. Yeah, no, we'll get apartments that are across the hall.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, their house is huge and whatever. But it shows them shooting Nerf guns at each other. They're wholesome, just happy-go-lucky guys. But yeah, this dude just got knocked out and
just clocked.
I hope
down.
He's okay.
He hits the floor. I mean, he doesn't even know what happened. He gets hit in the face.
The dude did come out of nowhere. He didn't even see the guy. He was looking at one dude. He turned around. And he got hit.
I scrubbed through it because I just wanted to see it slowly, frame by frame. I just needed to see him, that moment where the fist connects with his face, and he just has no. He's just I think that's a fist, and then the next thing he knows is probably right now. He probably didn't register anything until this very moment. And that was
waking up just what happened? They're like, yeah.
But
So-
also, there's more happening in the NFL world that's a little bit more exciting for us because we get excited for Hard Knocks every year. It doesn't matter who they announce it is.
Yes, we do.
I was excited when it was the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, Steven.
Who is it this year, Gabe?
Oh, it's my boys. It is both the Chargers and the Rams. And what I'm calling the battle for LA. I don't know, with COVID and everything, they're telling players they're like socially distanced, but like still play the game. And Sean McVay has come forward being like, what are you guys talking about? Like, this is a bad idea. But apparently it's, as of right now, NFL is the only, NBA is like, we're like one step away from being officially, they're one step away from being officially back. But like NFL, they're like, no, we're going to play. Like,
the NFL is committed to doing this. And look, we need to state for our listeners unequivocally, and once again, like we did last week, wear the mask. COVID-19 is still a thing. Stop thinking it's not. Wear the mask. Be safe. Be responsible. Stop pretending that this all just went away. That said, I don't have to be in the stands. And if the players are going to put themselves at risk, well, if they could come up with a safe way to do it without fans in the stands, I would be very excited about that. That said, I don't want anybody to die for football. But God, I hope there's the NFL in August because I don't know what else I'll do if there's not.
however, well, with Hard Knocks, it's with Amazon's All or Nothing, they follow the team around during the season. With Hard Knocks, it's just training camp and preseason. So, if anything, like, I'm just excited to get a deeper look into my team. Like, I'll get to see, I want to see what Joey Bosa's house looks like.
We're going to get behind the scenes of the Zoom calls that are the team meetings.
We're going to get behind the
just
Zoom
like,
calls.
What's his name? Anthony Lynn, just like,
yeah.
You guys need to pick it up. And they're like, we tried, but we were
Your mic cut out. What did you say?
Sorry, no, you got to unmute, coach. You got to...
I'm interested in the quarterback discussion because, as you all know or should know, we have Tyrod Taylor, great quarterback. We have Justin Herbert, our first-round rookie quarterback draft pick. But guess who we're working out soon?
Cam?
Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, cool. Good for him.
We are working Colin Kaepernick out, and apparently he's been noted as fitting in well with the way we run our offense. It's just, our coach has said, he likes what we have, so it's just a matter of, does he have a spot? Like, he's still a good quarterback. He can still sling the ball.
If you guys sign Colin Kaepernick, we're going to have to invent a time machine to take you back to the moment you met him. Because remember when you straight up lied to him and you were like, I'm rooting for you, man. And like,
what do you mean? I am rooting for him. Get the hell out of here. I did meet Colin Kaepernick. That is 100% true. He walked right by me in New York City, just on the street. And the second he walked by me and I realized who he was, out loud, I said, holy shit. And I turned around and he was like, there was like a parking garage and he like went into the parking garage and like hid in the corner. But because I saw, maybe he heard me and he was like, oh crap, a fan is going to say hi to me. So I just went up to him and I was just like, hey man, big fan of yours. He was like, oh, thanks man. I gave him a fist bump.
You cornered him in a parking garage.
Yes, I did. I didn't corner
him.
He went
there. You have
a
lot of those weird experiences. We don't have time to go into all of them. But the time you met John Mulaney on a subway, you made him very uncomfortable too.
Oh, he wasn't ready to say hi to me that night. But listen, when you're famous, why are you taking the one train, buddy? You got money for a car. Like, what are you doing? He was clearly lost.
He's of the people. I did that to Todd Barry. I made him very uncomfortable. But he was in a place.
He was at the Comedy Cellar, though, right?
All right, we got to go. Guys, please follow the show at the HO Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, and please rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It's really important. It helps the show and it helps us improve the show for you. If you have thoughts on how we can make things better, if you have brewery suggestions on who we can visit, if you have brewery suggestions specifically related to our mission of featuring Black-owned breweries, we would love to hear any and all of that. So please send us an email, hopod@gmail.com. We will see you next week. We will continue to drink because that's what we do. Stay safe. Be well. Adios.
I need a pool.